Hi, my name is Scott Marker, and this is another episode of Treasure Valley NIA Quick Tips. How this came to be is I'm a franchise owner of a network in action out of Houston, Texas, and it is a once a month professional referral groups and brainstorming groups. We get together and try to help grow each other's businesses with local owners and professionals here in the Valley. And through that, I just meet a lot of high caliber people, leaderships here in the Valley, and I bring them on the show to share their expertise. So today is a perfect example. Alex, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Alexander Wilber. I am the operations manager for Security of Idaho. We are a security company that specializes in physical security guards, unarmed, armed, and mobile patrols.
Cool. So the first question I have is how the heck did you get into that
You
industry?
know, I've had a lot of different jobs. So I was part of a large corporation, and the tech industry is pretty brutal, and there's a lot of layoffs every year. So I had just lost my job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I always made a joke with like, I kind of want to look at security cameras. That sounds like a pretty good gig. So I ended up with a company and just a flex guard, right? Like that means if someone calls out or if there's a need, I work security. And it turns out I was actually pretty good at it, which caught me off guard because I'm like, oh, okay. I always thought like I looked really nice and like I was too friendly or stuff, but apparently like I have a very serious face, apparently. But
When
I
you need to
really,
be.
yeah, like I really fell in love with it. And then from there, I was just a full-time security guard, just an average guard. Worked a couple sites, got a lot of training at multiple sites. And then from there, I became a supervisor. And then I just did a great job, 180 to site. And then I was promoted again and again. And now I'm the operations manager of the company.
Wow, that is awesome. That's a great story. I mean, that just shows that you kind of know what know what being a guard's like.
Oh yeah, I've been on the front lines myself. So there's an advantage to that where I know exactly what my team needs. I know realistic expectations to do the company. Like I can see, there's always that disconnect of management and workers.
Yep,
I've done it firsthand, so it's
that's
easier for me
awesome.
to be more empathetic to my staff.
Yeah. So no, that I love that. When you told me that, I thought that is perfect because that makes you a better manager. So I'm a fourth generation Idahoan, and we're known here for being pretty safe and secure. So why would anybody need security? Any company?
So especially in Idaho, right? Idaho's pretty safe, and the question I get a lot is, everyone's carrying in Idaho. Why do I need security, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So for businesses, I think it's the best time to have security is when nothing happens, right? Because it helps stop incidents before they happen in the first place,
it's
right?
true.
It's kind of like car insurance. You don't think you need it until you get in a car accident,
Yeah,
right? So like there's always like trespassing issues, confrontation issues. Having security there is just a great deterrent. It protects your customers, your staff, your clients, your it's kind of like asset protection as well. So it's just a massive deterrent. Like the best way I can describe it is like a home invasion type scenario. When someone breaks into your house, they're waiting for you to be gone. But if
yeah,
you're home, it's not worth the effort anymore, right? So
right.
having physical security there is a massive deterrent for anything that could happen, right? And then the same thing for businesses too. It's like, well, unfortunately, there's retention, people fire people.
Right.
It helps to have someone there to, let's say, you fire someone in your company and they're very aggressive, or it's hard for HR to be all alone terminating someone. The
Right.
security comes in there and they help you, right? They make sure that employee doesn't come back. There's no threats. It's less likely something's going to happen if there's a physical deterrent there.
Right.
Another question I get a lot is like, well, I have security cameras, right? Security cameras are fantastic. I think you
Right.
should use both, but security cameras help in court and after the fact, but they don't help
Oh,
in the moment, right?
right. Yeah. No, no, I love that. And again, it's like it's the value of things. Like I could see, and you tell me, I could see like car lots or RV things that could get vandalized or stolen or whatever. That's those are high cost items, and it might do you. I mean, somebody that's thinking about doing something bad. I mean, if they see a security people go through there occasionally, that might give them a second thought about going there and doing whatever bad thing they're going to do, steal a car or vandalize it or vandalized. I mean, and sometimes cars anymore, I mean, especially trucks, they're 80 over $100,000. I mean, getting some couple of those vandalized, that's expensive.
Oh yeah. No, it
Yeah.
is like even just asset protection for like, let's say you're hosting a rock concert and you have
Okay.
thousands of dollars of instruments, right? We
Yeah.
do those security
Oh,
types too, where we just have a guy there. We even do like private security, like celebrities, they get mugged, like they just get swarmed, right?
yeah.
So we do that security too. Anything physical we do, but it's that deterrent piece kind of thing, like what you're talking about. But it's just, when you have something there, it's just the second you look at it's like leaving your well, you wouldn't leave your laptop in a coffee shop by itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is kind of like that same mentality of if you have someone there, it's just less likely to happen.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I won't mention where, but I go to a place that I'm just shocked that it's a gym, and I'm just shocked that I'll open up locker after locker. There'll be a purse, mobile phone, keys, unlocked, and so and that's been going on for years. And as you know, we have a lot of people moving in here, and that doesn't mean we have people that live here that do stupid things too, but we have a lot of people pouring in here and stuff. So I just think the environment's changing. And so I talked to the management and just said, "Hey, I told them that I have to go down, 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 down to find one that has nothing in it and there's no locks on them. I bring a lock, and because that keeps people honest. And anyway, and they said, "Oh no, people get stolen stuff here all the time." I'm like,
No, you're
"Wow."
100% right. It's just the Idaho is safe for the most part, especially compared to other states, right?
Yeah,
Idaho is a
yeah,
pretty safe place to live,
right,
but it's getting bigger and bigger
yeah,
and just it's kind of sad, but the worse it gets, the more you need security.
yeah,
And it's just the bigger it gets, you just don't know who's moving in. It's just
yeah,
you see it all the time now on the news. Like, I don't want to date the video, but just recent events too. It's like, yeah, it's looking more like Idaho's changing.
yeah, yeah. And again, it just all the so real quick, give me kind of like the buckets. Like, what are some of the some of your vertical markets that you help? You said live events, but what type of live events? And then what else do you do? Kind of what buckets do you? Because a lot of times in security, I mean, a lot of times people just don't know what to think, unless you.
Hmm.
So what are like some of the buckets?
So, one of the buckets would be like, so let's start with the live events thing. So, a lot of places, like if you're going to have a big rock concert or a big sporting event, or even like a kid's soccer game to as big as like a donation thing, right? Where,
Okay.
oh, we're going to have a run for cancer marathon or something
Right.
like that. Most of those events need security. And just like there's like a couple events in history you could point to that didn't have security where something really awful happened, right? Like a
Right.
bombing or a shady suspect or a shooting, even in
Yeah.
like a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
So what we do basically is we'll check around the property, make sure everyone's having a good time. It's basically to make sure your event runs well. So
Yeah.
with those big events, it's just definitely if I go to an event, there's no security at all, no one's checking me in, you don't know what's going to happen. But
Yeah.
which is that physical deterrent there at a huge event where there's like 400, 500, 700 people, it
Yeah.
really makes a big difference. Also, like checking IDs for alcohol is a pretty big one. No
Yeah.
one likes checking IDs for alcohol because you get
Yeah.
like three kinds of people. They either get upset or they're like, well, I clearly look overage. You don't want to deal with that. Have
Yeah.
security deal with that, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't think about that because like I go to a venue and they have security, and I won't say this, but I walk through, but they tell me I don't have to. I walk through the metal detector, but they say I don't have because I've been doing it for 15 years, going there, and
Mhm.
everybody knows me. But I just to be safe, I still walk through the metal detector, um, just to show, and if it ever and it hasn't, but if it ever did anyway, but that's exactly yeah. It's just they're there to kind of make sure. And then also security is good too, is at some of these events you get people that get drink too much. And so why would you want to wait until things get out of control and have to call the police and then it might be
It
too
ruins
late.
everyone's time, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. And so if somebody could really anyway. So yeah, I totally get that. So any type of events, live events and stuff like that, you guys can help them out. And then what other type of security you guys do?
so earlier you were talking about like car lots,
Yeah.
vehicles like that. We also do mobile patrols. So mobile patrols, basically, we have a guard that patrols in a vehicle that not necessarily looks like a cop car, but it kind of does to
Oh,
deter
okay.
people, right? Like there's
Right.
lights. It's not the same lights, but it's oh, there's a something's over there. You have to like really look at it. Even a security car, it's still a deterrent because we could call the police, right? It's
Yeah.
someone live there. So they'll drive through parking lots, they'll drive through parking garages, which are also really dangerous. Sometimes it's not even like an armed person or a dangerous person. Sometimes we see car accidents. Like
Oh,
if it's a parking garage and we have a security guard driving through the parking garage and we see someone breaking into your car, or maybe they hit your car and they weren't going to leave an insurance thing,
oh,
that's something that people don't realize security can do too. Also, people parking in handicap spots without a license or like illegally parking, things like that, we can also take care of that too, or get people
oh,
towed, put boots on. So that's like in that mobile patrol category.
okay.
And
And
then,
then,
no,
yeah,
go
keep
ahead.
going. Yeah, because again, because like I mean, security. I just don't. I mean, yeah, keep going. Because what other type of things are you kind of help businesses out with?
Oh yeah. And then like the third one is this is like our main bread and butter kind of thing is
Okay.
physical security permanent, right?
Okay.
So this is like banks,
Yep.
lately like stores even. It depends on like how rough the area is or how expensive your products there are, or even like big corporations that do like food, factories, stuff like that. It's you keep people that you don't want inside your building, even with a badge access. It's still easy to get in. There's piggybacking, there's let's say
Yep.
you have a site that no one's allowed to have their phone in or they signed NDAs, people still try to sneak their phone in, right? So
Yep.
having that physical security there also prevents you from getting sued.
Yep.
Also, let's say I'm sure this has happened at least once. Calling for backup, calling for security, and having someone walked out, stuff like that. So for businesses, it's having someone there at any time you need to call on someone for help is great
Right.
because being all alone, like I can imagine being in an HR role and you're like, oh, hey, this person makes me a little nervous. It'd be nice to
Yep.
have security with me. Or let's say you own a business and it's a club or something, you have some rowdy guests. I tell you what, I bet it feels really powerful to be like, security. You literally just shout security and you
Yeah.
just feel empowered, right? Like I got backup. Like, don't
Yep.
you need to follow the rules because I got these guys with me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can totally see that. Yeah. Because it's a whole different. Then people a lot of times, not all the time, but then if it escalates, then you call the police in to kind of help you out with the crazy person. But again, you can for the most part, you can probably de-escalate most of that stuff just by telling people to settle down.
But most of the time, just a badge alone, just like
Yeah.
having like backup, most of the time people come down.
Yeah.
Very rarely have I personally run into an incident that had to like get into a fight or something like
Yeah.
that. Most of the time, just being having security there calms people down to like, oh, is this worth the trouble? Oh, like it's a way to not have to go. Because if you call the police, they still take 20 minutes, 15
Yeah.
minutes, or longer to
Yeah.
even get there. Having security there, you have something fast that can de-escalate right there and then. And we go through a lot of de-escalation training because a lot of companies, they don't want the lawsuit, they don't want the HR nightmare if something were to
Right.
actually physically happen. So having that de-escalation training is really big.
Yeah. And so yeah, talk about that because I think that's super important. The de-escalation training. What's some of that type of stuff?
So a lot of people, so it kind of goes into like let's talk basic emotions, right? No
Yeah.
one likes to be shamed,
Yeah.
right? It's embarrassing when you make a mistake. And some people they either get angry or they're apologetic, right?
Okay.
So a quick example I can give is I dealt with someone that was very angry because of it was an issue of a policy, right? A
Right.
lot of it goes to, well, in the moment, I don't understand this policy. It's not fair, and I'm upset.
Right.
So the best way to deter that is with our de-escalation training is let's try to figure out, okay, why is this person upset? Put yourself in their shoes. Okay, they're probably upset with this. So you first go, hey, you know what? I get it. I understand why you're upset. I would like try to empathize, right?
Right.
Don't just be like, oh, I'm security, get out, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that empathy level of humanity, right? We're all human. People
Right.
make mistakes. So it's just that, hey, let's meet me halfway. Hey, you know what? I get that you're frustrated. Let's talk about it. Hey, you know what? It's just the way this happens to be. I understand, like just that level of understanding, but
Yeah.
you don't want to put yourself in that situation kind of
Yeah.
thing because if you don't know what you're doing, you can make it worse, right?
No, I totally agree. You know exactly right because a lot of stuff, um, a lot of that stuff is exactly that. Is it's just the way you handle it. If you start off not uh, years and years ago, I had some martial arts guy saying that um, he said that this is years ago, but cops are outside with their their billy clubs hitting their hands. He said, "What does that do?" He goes, "That doesn't that just riles people up." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, and again, this has been years and years ago, but he told me this story, and I don't remember where it was, but he just says that that's the type of stuff that you know it doesn't de-escalate things, So it's yeah, when you come to somebody and you try to understand, and then it gets to the point where you say, "Hey, you know something? This is my job." You know,
Yeah.
sorry, you got to leave.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it goes to that deterrent piece where it's like, I guess the coolest way I can describe it is kind of like a samurai, right? So security would be like, all I have to do is put my hand on my sword to know, hey, I mean business. Let's not
Yeah.
escalate it further.
Yeah.
Calling the police is the sword's drawn now. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard the saying like the wounded animal's the most dangerous animal, but
Yeah.
once the
Yeah.
police are
Yeah.
called, it's on. They know they're going to jail. They know it's going
Yeah.
to escalate. So sometimes it's actually better to just let your security team handle it than it
Yeah.
would be to call, depending on the issue, right?
Yeah.
Everything's subjective, but
Yeah.
sometimes just the security guard there is a lot easier and it's faster to
Yeah.
de-escalate than going straight to the calling the police, right?
Yeah, yeah, because then yeah, I can get out right. So again, this is something I don't know at all, and a lot of business owners might be thinking, I've always thought about getting security, but is it expensive? I mean, I don't even know how much it is.
So security,
I know you can give a
it
range.
yeah,
But
it's based on what you want, right?
right,
Like what do you need is always the kind of the thing. It's kind of like insurance, right? It's like,
okay,
well, I only need a single coverage and a family insurance. So it's based on that. But security is also like far less expensive than the cost of the incident, right?
right,
So like earlier you're talking about cars. A car being stolen is a lot more expensive than having a security guard. A
yeah,
liability claim or a lawsuit can cost you way like
yeah,
it. There's
yeah,
companies all the time I hear like, oh, I won $1 million lawsuit because it was handled incorrectly, right?
yeah,
Security is kind of more like an investment to protecting your business and
okay,
reducing the risk and just avoiding disruptions, right? Like, let's say you have a factory, I'm going to say like a Cheeto factory, something like that, and
okay,
someone sneaks in and you have to shut down the whole line, right? Who knows how much money you're losing that whole time that line shut
a
while you're
lot,
looking for this person, right?
yeah, a
So
lot,
security's there to avoid that person getting in the first place.
okay,
Or, you don't have to shut off the line. You can call security. They'll look for the person so you don't
okay,
waste your time looking for
yeah,
the person, right?
yeah,
So in the end, it's cheaper than the aftermath, right?
right,
It's like again, it's like life insurance. Or let's say you don't have insurance and then you get sick. Well, guess how much it is now, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. They and then and then this kind of ties right into it. I'm sure some people think, oh, well, I'll just get my employee to be a security guard.
Hmm.
Have you ever
So
have you ever have you ever heard of that before?
I've run into that before where it's like,
Okay.
oh, we do in-house security and they don't look like security, it's just some guy, right? So for me, like someone who's worked in corporate America for a hot minute, like
Yeah.
I've been around for a while,
Right.
over I want to say how at least 17 years in just a
Okay.
corporate environment. You should never have an employee manage any kind of confrontation or safety threat because one, it's an HR nightmare, right? Because what if they get
Right.
hurt? Like
Yeah.
who's liable for that? Like
Yeah.
also, you need a clear indicator of that authority symbol, right?
Yep.
So let's say you have someone angry at the front desk and you don't have a security guard and the reception is just getting yelled at, right? Who are they going to go to? I guess they go to their supervisor or their manager, but let's say they're busy, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have anyone like, I guess I'll handle it myself. And let's say they get your company sued, right? The cameras are everywhere now. So if
Yeah.
you have an employee that also reacts hostily, or let's say like they match the energy, right? And then the camera gets
Overreact.
out, it hurts your
Yeah.
company. It hurts
Yeah.
your business, it hurts your reputation, right? So not only is it an HR nightmare, but it's also there's no clear indicator of who can I go to if there's an emergency, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't call that security button that makes you feel super safe. It's, oh, I guess I'm on my own. And then you have to wing it. And it's just that in the moment, everyone thinks they're going to do a good job until it happens. And it's a
Yeah.
high stress environment. And it's really easy to get sued in today's America, right?
Yeah. 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 I can see like I said, I can see that for sure. Um and then like the stereotype of security guard, right, is some security guards standing there and falling asleep. So really what are they doing? I mean, so what I mean, how do you get I mean, from somebody like me that's in my mind about stereotype stuff. So how do you like dissuade get rid of that kind of idea?
Yeah, I get it. Because, there's a movie like Paul Blart, I think The Mall Cop. I thought it was
Yeah.
hilarious because I'm in
Yeah.
the industry, right? So I think it's
Yeah. Yeah.
hilarious. But so it's kind of like visible security presence, like it prevents problems before they even start, right?
Right.
So like, yeah, you can have a security guard standing there really tough the entire time, but literally just their presence stops things. So it's kind of like a scarecrow, right? So
Yeah.
without all the scarecrow does is stand there. That's
Yeah.
all it does, but
Yeah.
it helps prevent crows from coming in and stealing all your crops, right?
Yeah.
So just having the physical deterrent and the peace of mind that it represents is great for your customers, it's great for staff. Just having like, let's say like you're in a mall and you just see asset protection just standing there,
Yeah.
you're more likely to think twice. So it feels like it's kind of like you don't need it until you need it kind of
Yeah.
thing. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like the IT guy at your normal like business where it goes, why do we even pay you? And then something breaks and then you're like, where's IT kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like just having them when you need them, it just feels so great to have that help.
Wow. No, that's good. Um, and so like what here's one thing is so there's other security companies here in the valley, and so what makes Pro Secure kind of the the unique and then also like a good choice for a business here in the valley.
So, something we're finding out is we're apparently one of the most affordable security companies you can have in
Oh,
the Treasure Valley.
that
We do competitive
companies
pricing,
love
and we'll
that.
we'll price match too, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a guy that's like, "Oh, we're going to charge you this much and this much," and tell us about it. I want to see your contract because I bet we could save you a lot of money. Because
Yeah.
in the end, you want something that works, that's effective, that's affordable, right? And it's turning out that we're one of the most affordable security companies on the market. Another thing is we're local. So a lot of security companies, their headquarters are in Washington, California, Washington, D.C. Like they're not local areas. So they don't really know what Idaho's issues are. They're used to, well, we want this and this, and this is what we're used to, but they don't know what it's like to be in Idaho.
Right.
They'll hire like supervisors and management for Idaho, but the big company, like whoever's up top, they don't really know what's going on over here. So
Right.
that's something we have a huge advantage of is that we know Idaho. We've been in Idaho forever, right? Another thing is if you're we're always available. So I'm personally am 24/7. I will go to your site at any time. We do site inspections. We'll show up, make sure the guards are, not asleep, like you said.
Good.
If your security company that you have right now isn't visiting you at least once a quarter, they don't really care about your business. They care about the contract, right?
Oh,
So that's where we do a lot of just it's how we conduct our business. It's just a lot different.
right. No, I love that. And I'm again being fourth generation Idaho and I think Idaho is just a little bit different that we're a little bit more pro Idaho. So I love that there's all those stats that if you know work with an Idaho based company, it brings in this many more dollars than you do, because the money's not flowing out of the state. So no, I love that. Is that you have as good if not better service, security services and solutions for your the customers, and you're competitive. I mean that's a and local that's like a trifecta.
And then
So
like let's say you already have security at your site and you love your guards, you just hate who you're working with.
right.
We can hire the guards. You can keep everything you want and just pay less.
Oh, I
So
love
we
that.
can make that work too. It's just starting that conversation is where I want to get to, right?
Yeah. So here's the deal. So how does uh somebody that has physical security now and they've kind of just been on autopilot for a long time and all of a sudden they go, I think I need to reach out to Alex just to kind of see, um, kind of compare. Maybe I need to compare to see what he's doing compared to what we have right now. What's the best way to do that? Best
So
way
the
to reach
best
out to
way to
you?
hold it is definitely a phone call, an email, anything like
Okay.
that. We're part of a lot of networking groups. We're in the chambers
Okay.
for Idaho, like the Boise, Nampa, Meridian chambers, stuff like
Okay.
that. You can find us on the directory. We're also in the networking in action, which you can also pull us up in. It's all of our information's there. But you
Okay.
can also go to prosecurityidaho.com, and that's a really quick way. But also, I hand out my business card, my personal numbers on all of them. Just give me a call. I am more than
Okay.
happy to give you 20, 30 minutes so we can talk about it.
Cool. Yeah, and that's good too because what I'll do is I'll put in the show notes. I'll put all the contact information for people to make it easy on them, to be able to get a hold of you. No, no. So that's great. So is there anything else you can think of that I haven't covered that about you'd like to kind of talk to the listeners about your company or what you guys do different?
I think we handled a lot of things. Like
Okay.
it's just kind of security lucky for me. It's a pretty basic thing, right? It's not super complex. It's not like brain surgery or high
Yeah,
taxes or anything like that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
literally physical deterrent and safety, right?
yeah. Yeah, no, no, I love it too. And again, it just, it's just again, things change. Idaho's just growing like crazy. I think last year we still per capita we're like the number one, um, people moving in here and stuff. And so with growth comes more challenges for businesses, and it's just good to be safe, you know. So, well, perfect. Well, this has been awesome. I mean, I even know more about it, and I've known you for a while, and I even know more about it now. So, no, that's really good. So, yeah, this has been great. So, I appreciate it, and so this has been another episode of Treasure Valley NA Quick Tips. And like I said before, if you have any security type needs or you want to compare, please reach out to Alex. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.